Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, massive parian. That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Welcome to Forget Work, Watch Films with your hosts, Tony Howe, Thomas Connors, and Robert Connors.
Well, hello everybody, how's it going on this fine summery weekend? How you both doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
Doing very well. So I'm Rob, I'm hosting this week, and with me are two guys. One of these guys owns the world record for sleeping through the most IMAX showings. The other one shouted the word wankers at a riot van and ended up in tears. Which one are you?
I don't know. I'm guessing IMAX.
Yeah. I thought we were going to get arrested. How are we doing?
In IMAX?
Yeah. How are we doing?
Alright, yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a shame I'm hosting this week because there's been that much going off. I don't think there's not much room to squeeze stuff in.
Well, there's news, we've had requests.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who has made requests and all those people who are listening.
Yeah, we've actually had quite a few listeners now, which is pretty good. Everybody enjoying it. Forgetting work, watching films.
Lots to discuss. We'll try and cover everything. Obviously, the big news going around, Spider-Man, we'll come to that. There's a few other breaking news, but we'll try and cover it all.
So, don't really know where to start, but first movie I want to talk about, don't know if you see the news, this little number.
Oh, Mr. Bond.
Anybody know the title of the new movie?
Hello, Mr. Funny Fella.
Anybody know the title yet of the new movie? We got it?
I know it.
Oh, go on.
No Time to Die.
I knew
James
it was
Bond.
something to die.
James Bond, No Time to Die. Last movie featuring Daniel Craig. What we thinking? We bothered?
After the last one, no. Well, I am and I'm not.
I agree. I was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I mean, I rate like Casino Royale. I don't think Quantum of Solace is as bad
Oh, it is.
as when you watch it a couple of times. Skyfall were okay.
No, it was really good, actually. And you know what? Far From Home took the record from Skyfall for Sony's highest grossing picture. That was the number one film for them.
Do we think, considering James Bond, the franchise, is now nearly 60 years old, is there still room for James Bond?
Well, yes, but if you look at when it were sort of like reinvented, when Bourne were kicking its ass, because basically,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bourne were kicking its ass.
Oh, you know
it
it
still was sort of like
all the
women
combat.
were just sex objects.
The combat changed after Bourne released. It were hand-to-hand combat, martial arts.
You look at Casino Royale. I mean, what was the film before Casino Royale?
Where the Die Another Day.
Oh, well,
I think
yeah,
I'm not the biggest Bond
the world
fan.
is, and it was Pierce Brosnan, weren't it?
Yeah. Do you know?
Horrendous. All horrendous films. Only good thing about GoldenEye is it's got Sean Bean.
Couple of questions for you. Forget No Time to Die. How many Bond movies have been released so far? I always like to chuck in a
This
little.
is Bond 22, I think. Or
I was going to
23.
say 21. I'm going to go 21. So,
25 films.
Do you know?
So what's that including? Is that including
All of them.
I've got an interesting fact to say. I'll say it in a minute.
Well, there's a few. There's obviously the one which was redone
What's
by.
this question?
This is about how many Bond films there is.
All right.
There was the original Casino Royale, which
Yeah,
was Woody
sure.
Allen. Some people count that, some people don't. There was,
Woody Allen?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, it was Woody Allen and David Niven. David Niven played Bond, and I think
All right.
Woody Allen played like Bond as well. They were both called Bond.
I think
See-
And then there's the one where Sean Connery came back because there were a miscommunication between, well, not miscommunication, there was Aguilar who actually had Rise.
I
And he did Thunderball.
I myself wouldn't really class. I'm not a fan of Bond. I don't mind it. But they don't really float my boat, if I'm honest. I think they're pretty cool for what they are, but not a fan.
I think I remember him as a kid, you see. Roger Moore was my Bond. So I do have sort of like a soft spot in my heart for like Live and Let Die.
Here's a little
and
fun fact
things
for
like
you.
that.
Fun fact. James Bond's obviously changed now. He's not a womanizer. Probably not an alcoholic like he used to be.
He's not a womanizer.
Diddle-diddle-diddle.
Yeah, well,
But-
he still sleeps with a lot of women.
Yeah, but no. So the fact I was going to hit you with, on average, James Bond takes a drink every 10 minutes and 53 seconds. Did you know that one?
What, of
Shake-
alcohol or just
shake
anything like a cup of tea?
Yeah, it just takes a drink, yeah. Can you do your best? Yeah.
What, every 10 minutes?
10.
Don't believe
It's
that.
probably
That's gotta
average
be
start in
bollocks.
filming. Can I say my interesting fact?
Can I just start? I'm
I'll
still
say
stuck on that
too.
point about if he's like in a sex scene, he's not going to stop and have a cup of tea.
Yeah, he might have one
Or a
after.
drink.
I think it's on average, isn't it? So while he might not have one for like half an hour here, he might have one for...
Can you do
Anyway.
your best impression, your best James Bond impression?
I did it earlier. Hello, Miss Moneypenny.
Hey, Miss Moneypenny, I'll have a cocktail.
Lovely Potter. Anyway, go on, Tom. You've been dying to say so. Go
It's
on.
Sean Connery's birthday today.
Is it really?
Yeah, I seen it this morning on Twitter.
Nah,
I didn't know we were going to be talking about Bond, but I've seen it, and the first thing I thought was, how old is he?
But he's somebody you would imagine meeting him.
Yeah, well,
I can imagine he's not great to me.
Yeah, not at the minute. He's like 89.
No,
You could push
I
his
think
wheelchair
he could
for him.
be Clint Eastwood.
I know
mean, how old's he?
he's still directing films.
Yeah.
He's got to be 90. I think he is 90.
But I reckon Sean Connery is not approachable. I reckon you could walk up to him in Betty's while he's having a cup of tea and a fat rascal.
Not with them moves he's got.
Today's Sunday, by the way, if you're wondering. Like, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, unfortunately, it's not his birthday anymore. So,
Today's actually Saturday.
Well, what is the date? What is the date of his birthday? What's today's
25th
date?
of August.
There you go.
Right, I don't want to spend too much time on Bond. It's just this week's news. Little quick question for you both. I want to, a little quick guess. Which Bond has killed the most people in his movies? And for a bonus point, how many?
I'm going to go for Pierce Brosnan.
He did used to kill a lot.
I'm going to go for Pierce Brosnan, and I'm going to say 2,000.
Fucking hell, mass murderer.
Why not?
I ain't seen them all, so this is an uninformed, uneducated guess, let's say. I'll just go for Daniel Craig and say that he's killed 180.
So Daniel Craig. Oop, hold on. Daniel Craig. Pierce Brosnan.
Hey.
135 people.
That's because I didn't want to... Yeah, so you were about 1,700 people off. But also,
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it same as you.
Well, can I just say one little thing about Pierce Brosnan? GoldenEye. It's the only film I've ever sat in a cinema on my own to watch. There were nobody else in cinema with
Is
me.
that true?
That is a true story. So let me throw one out to you two. I know you're hosting, but I'm just going to throw this one out because obviously we do want to move on from Bond. I want one answer, quickly. Next Bond, go.
Well, yeah.
I don't want Idris Elba, I'll put that out there. I think Richard Madden would be a good Bond. He's young and he looks the part. You know what I mean? Who played
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Rob
He's not
Stark.
going to be in Eternals.
Yeah, I think he'd be. He was in The Bodyguard, which I didn't watch, but I heard good things about it.
I think
Yeah.
it's such a tough question. It genuinely is. Things have changed. I think it probably will be Idris Elba, but I don't know who I would want. I can't. Henry Cavill, his name's tossed around, but I don't think he'd suit it. I don't think he's a great leading man. He's a good guy, but I don't think he'd be a good Bond. So I'm going to say I think it will be Idris Elba, but he's not my preference.
I'm just going to say Tom Hardy and leave it at that.
Well, that goes without saying. He's in everything, isn't he?
Overrated, but let's move on.
So the next movie topic, we haven't seen this franchise for 16 years.
I know where this is going.
You got
Yeah.
a good guess?
Me too. Are you going to go for green guess or blue guess?
Uh,
Is that the right colours?
Do you know what? Seriously, I were asked this question other day. Which pill did he take Was it the red pill or the blue
Well,
pill?
we'll get
What
to
did-
this.
oh,
We'll
I
get,
said,
And I
we'll
got
get-
it
I
right.
got
I didn't
colours
get it
wrong.
right, but I still
We'll
can't
get
remember
to
what I
this.
said.
So I'm going to hit you with a few facts, right? We'll get there, a little bit of information. So the first Matrix movie was released in 1999. It won 4 Oscars, followed by Matrix Reloaded in 2003. That was released in May. Which, this doesn't happen often, but Matrix Revolutions was released 6 months later, the same year, because they filmed them back to back. So, written and directed by the Wachowskis, this week they announced The Matrix 4 with the return of Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss.
Even though she died.
What are we thinking?
Well, they both died. Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen
You know,
it, it's
but
your
I
own
mean-
problem.
I mean, I can't even... To say the truth, I can't remember how Neo died.
He plugged it. Did
But I remember
This
her
is a
dying
very
when-
vague
'cause
description.
obviously thing went
Yeah,
straight
Paul.
through when she
He like
crashed.
plugged himself in to like help save the whole. What I will say about the Matrix, to me, go on, you're dying to
No,
say
go on,
something.
no, go on.
Is if I were going to describe that film, and this is just talking about the first film, I don't think there's many other films in the modern era that you could say is as groundbreaking as that. It really was. The action,
absolutely loved it to death.
Yeah, but it was just, I
Proper
remember everybody
mental,
talking about it, and the way the
crazy.
camera panned around, you'd never seen anything like it. The kung fu in it, to be brought into an American action film that was just so cool. It was just awesome.
Well, I'm going to hit you with a little fact again. Hitting you a lot tonight, aren't I?
I'm going to say, yeah, I'm bruised up with all these facts.
So, Matrix, first one, released in 1999, right? By the year 2002, bullet time had been recreated in over 20 movies. It's crazy, that, isn't it? You name
Yeah,
them
but
all.
it's like Houghton.
Bulletproof Monk.
It's like this with Disney, where they've made people younger. That's now starting to appear in other. Once somebody creates technology,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
starts to then get out. A bit like Matrix, really.
Only when it works.
Groundbreaking.
When
Starts
it,
to get out there.
it's when it works, isn't it? It's when the movie works and everyone goes.
Let me just say this one thing. I think, even though we've just said about they died, the concept of the Matrix is set up in such a way that it is easily done where they can say,
Well, it's their world,
they can
innit?
bring them back.
They can do what they
were
want.
in another world. They were,
You know-
they were regenerated in this world. They were downloaded into, I don't know,
Visually.
the iPod.
Visually, everything about it, in and out the Matrix, visually stunning. In when it was in the real world, they'd remove colours from the palette, which would only show up inside the Matrix to make it look different. Subtle differences you probably wouldn't notice when you're watching it, but afterwards, it's one of them films when it finishes, your mind's just frazzled. Do you think it's the movie that made Keanu?
No.
Well, here's a little. So the Matrix has grossed over £3 billion, right? 3 billion. It's a big franchise. When Keanu Reeves agreed to do the first one, a bit like Jack Nicholson with Batman, he agreed to take 10% of the movie's takings. So that shows you how much. No wonder Keanu Reeves has agreed to revisit.
I read from Matrix 1 to Matrix 3, it's overall earned him about $250 million.
It's
So-
not bad for
and
You
I-
won't get that with Keanu Reeves, would you? You won't look at him and think he's like of the super rich. He's a cool guy.
So, I mean, I don't know if Matrix 4, I like to think it would be good, but the Wachowski sisters, although it's just Lana Wachowski who's writing and directing this new one, I'm sure the last film that she wrote that got made, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a sci-fi film with like Channing Tatum, I think. Can you remember what it was?
Jupiter Ascending.
I think I'd have to check, but I'm sure she wrote that and it flopped. So will it
Yeah,
be
it was
good?
absolutely rank.
Yeah, will it be good? I
And
don't
Sean
know.
Bean in now, so that's not too bad.
But what are you thinking Matrix for?
See, this is one of the topics that I actually had for last week, which I never got to. And it's a topic that keeps sort of like
Which is ironic because
coming into our sort of like conversations.
Yeah, but you say-
and it's about sequels. And the one thing I say is, if you stopped a film from when it was very first done and didn't do any more sequels, how good would that film actually be? Nah, I think the only thing that
Can I
changes
just
with
say-
that is MCU.
You-
If you just did Matrix and then never did any more Matrixes,
Yeah, but you
how
don't-
good would that
I know what
film
you're saying.
be? You'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
Matrix.
Totally agree with what you're saying, but the only discussion you could ever have would be a bit similar to the Ghostbusters franchise.
Yeah, imagine if there were only one Ghostbusters, there were no more Ghostbusters, there were one.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
And it still is. But everybody would be saying that they want a sequel forever. That is the only discussion
But
that
do
would
you
ever come
need
up.
sequels? This is what I'm trying to say
So-
to you. Do you need sequels?
You were going to mention
Yes.
The Matrix last week. The sequel only got announced a couple of
No,
days ago.
I'm going to talk about sequels.
Yeah.
And the need for
Well,
them. Do
what-
you need sequels?
Question is, what do you think to Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions? What everybody knows.
Reloaded is brilliant. Revolutions ain't that good.
No?
I think it goes... When I first saw second one, where they were on top of
Freeway.
Freeway, that were amazing.
The-
I mean, it looks dated now, but
Even
at
the bad
time,
guy.
Oh
Was it
my
those
God.
ghosts?
Can I get
Yeah.
a Matrix quote? We got any Matrix quotes?
He's beginning to believe. Is it that? Or is
Come
it
quick.
He's starting to
Come
believe.
quick! Neo's fighting Morpheus.
Did you just make that up?
No. Isn't that
Just
what he
added
said?
some
Mr.
words.
Anderson.
He runs in and he says,
Oh, Mr. Anderson.
Neo's fighting Morpheus! And they run in and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
both fighting.
Because in third one,
Oh, no.
but he comes across the guy who's actually in charge, who just basically talks a lot of babble.
Oh, is it the Oracle? Or
Yeah.
is
Well,
it-
no, there's the Oracle. He's
the
the
architect. Yeah.
So-
Classic quote from first one within first 10 minutes. Oh no, actually no. I'm thinking of Trinity when she's on top of that building. Dodge this and fires good
Yeah.
into Agent's head.
Oh, yeah, Carrie Ann Moss, who played Trinity. That movie, when she'd shot that was the first time she'd ever seen herself on screen. Crazy, that, isn't it?
What, she'd never done a film before that, or never watched a film that
Never,
she'd been in?
never watched the film she'd been in. That was the first one where she thought, this
What?
is something special.
I've watched The Matrix 1 loads of times, tons of times. I've only seen the second one and the third one a handful of times. Maybe the third one only once. So let's hope Matrix 4
But
has
this
got
is
a
the
lot
point
more.
that I'm trying to make. This is
Yeah,
the
but-
point that I'm
yeah,
trying to
but
make
I
about
can just-
sequels.
I
Why
can-
have you not... You watched the first one because it's so bloody good.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
others aren't really
Yeah,
needed
but Tony,
because you've not watched
you-
them that
you've-
many times.
You've got a bee in your bonnet about sequels because you don't like the sequels that everybody else does. You're the only one who I know who thinks Back to the Future 2 is dodgy.
Oh, it's right, Dodger.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
I
another
like Die Hard with
discussion.
a Vengeance.
Isn't that?
And I don't mind Die Hard 2.
In
But
Die Hard
I
with
do
a Vengeance,
feel-
yeah, it's third
But what
one,
I'm saying is there a need for him?
Yeah.
If you just had Die Hard, what, like Die Hard 4, that were on last night.
Yeah, but there's
That's
sequels. There's
so
sequels,
rubbish.
and then there's exploited.
This is what I'm saying.
Anyway, we'll save this
Why
for when
not
you
just
host.
have...
Calm down, guys.
Why
Oh.
not just have that one film?
Yeah,
That
are you
one
saying-
film is
do you want-
iconic, but how iconic would it be without those sequels?
Do you want to live in a world without Terminator 2?
I could do without it.
Oh no, you
I could
couldn't.
live without it.
No, you could not.
I could.
What about Gremlins 2, a new batch?
This is what I'm saying.
Right, game
We'll
over on
come
that.
back to that.
No, question time now. I love a good question. So,
We haven't been asked any yet.
Yeah.
I love a good question.
We're still bruised up from all these fights.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pierce
Who's
Brosnan.
been hitting you?
I want you each to choose a colour, blue pill or the red pill.
Red.
What is it? Is this just at no cost?
I want to
It's
know.
free.
I want to know, what does Morpheus say each of your designated pills do? And what does
one.
the red pill
Well,
do?
one.
No, what does
Well, one,
yours
you will
your-
wake up
no,
in the
yours
morning.
is the red pill.
You'll wake
Yours
up
is
in
the
the
blue
morning,
pill.
Like nothing ever happened.
Or you will go further down the rabbit hole than you've ever
But
been
which
before.
is which? And I want you both.
Red's down the rabbit hole.
I'm going to go with that because you seem very emotionally attached to that pill.
It's what I took before I come out.
So, you are correct. So, anyway,
That needs to be louder. That.
yeah.
You-
Oh,
you
hold
really
on, hold
are.
on.
There you
There
go.
we go. Push the wrong button as a DJ. Right, the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in bed, believe what you want.
It
You
would
take
be
the
good
red-
if you could have that. Imagine if you're having a rate shit week. Someone said you could take this pill, wake up tomorrow, and it's all back to normal. Yep, overdose.
You take
I'd
the
rather wake up in the morning and it'd be Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it depends what day it
You
is.
take the red pill, you see how far the rabbit hole goes. So, Matrix 4, we're looking forward to it. Round this one up.
I am actually, even though I've just said that about sequels. I will watch it because
Let's
I
be
love
honest,
The Matrix.
it makes perfect sense. CGI is better than ever. Keanu Reeves is having what are they calling it? A Keanu...
Come back.
Wachowski sisters need to fund their breast surgery.
That's not politically correct. We don't know that. The views
we
in
don't
this,
know that for a fact.
The views in this
Yeah,
podcast.
well, they have not made any money since those sequels. I checked, they both wrote Jupiter Ascending. So it's a win-win for me. Keanu Reeves is a man of the minute. They get some more income. Everybody's happy. We get a good film. But yeah, it's...
What was that about Michael B. Jordan? Supposedly in a Matrix movie a few weeks ago. I wonder if that's connected. Do you remember?
No.
He was involved in a new... So,
I'm glad they ain't gone down that route.
Well, they've talked about redoing Matrix for ages.
Maybe that's how they're going to do it.
We're moving on now. The next movie I'd like to talk about, a good friend of ours went to watch it this week, Angel Have Fallen. It's shit. So, on to the next movie. On to the next
No,
movie.
seriously.
Trying to think
That
of a
does
way
not
to see
need...
it.
No, stop. We do need to just bypass that.
yeah,
I don't even want
exactly.
to talk about any of
Who
them
went to see
films.
that?
I got a clue.
John, didn't he? John went to watch it.
John Bell, your judgment is askew.
His favourite actor, Donnie fucking Dyer. Do you like Danny Dyer?
Is it really Danny
Yeah.
Dyer? I thought it was...
Are you a fan of Danny Dyer?
I do love Danny Dyer.
You know
So if
what?
I said the word to you, Danny, what do you think?
What?
Why are we on about Danny Dyer?
I don't know. It took a straight, strange...
Can I just say,
conversation.
I like this new saying, your judgment is askew, but which Marvel film is it from? And your judgment is askew.
Civil War, innit? It's that fight at the end.
I can't remember.
It's in the airport.
Danny
innit?
Dyer's
Moving
best
on
film.
Anyway, I was
Severance.
joking about Danny Dyer. I wasn't about John's taste. So we've had
I
a
really like Sergeant Bilko actor.
we've had a request on this. So we've got 20 minutes of the podcast left, and I've spared this time to talk about it. First of all, I want to hear your thoughts on Spider-Man in the MCU. I want to know what you thought when he first came in it. Did it work when he wasn't in it?
Before we get into this, another rabbit hole of the Spider-Man fandom, Paul Garnham says that you never quite got your thoughts across on Far From Home. So in a nutshell, what was your review?
Well, leading into this conversation about we've lost Spider-Man to Sony, thank God, because those films have just got worse and worse. That last one were atrocious. Just a bloody very long Benetton advert where let's shove as many multicultural
not quite everybody knows
people
what
in.
Benetton adverts are, Tony.
I'm just saying it now. Multicultural advert for diversity in the workplace. Do you know what I mean? Just stood on screen with a bit of Spider-Man. A villain who you knew were a villain from start. Oh, I'm so surprised when he actually were a villain. Do you know what I mean? Love interest who I'm not bothered about unless she appears in bloody music videos. Just atrocious all the way through. So not bothered. Blip. So not explained. Oh, now me classmates are 5 years older, but some have moved on, some haven't. So stupid. I mean, let's hope. I tell you what, Sony can have him and they can have that bloody Blip and all.
So, the Spider-Man thing, I think it's been confirmed now that he has left the MCU.
But no, what did we think when... So, the MCU before Spider-Man, when Spider-Man arrived, and how you feel it'll be without him?
So, basically, yeah, it's been confirmed that he's left. Now, would this be the same blow as if, let's say, a few years ago, if all of a sudden Robert Downey Jr. had left the MCU?
Yeah.
It's not the same thing, is it?
I love Tom Holland. Love him. And I
he's
do, and I
overrated.
think he does a good job on it, and he's trying his best. But when he first appeared in Civil War,
Oh, yeah, that was brilliant.
that was fantastic. Seriously, I
They
couldn't
shouldn't have
believe
been-
it. I was buzzing.
They shouldn't have showed that in trailer, because when he popped up, oh, God.
Spider-Man, in every other film other than Spider-Man, he's fantastic. He was good in Infinity War, he was good in Civil War, he's fantastic. But in them films of his own, Sony can take him back. Seriously, take him back and do what you want. Have him fight Venom, I don't care.
I mean, if it comes down to money, Sony needs... I don't know. They've both got enough money to live on, but my perception of it is this.
I can't see Sony like sat
Yeah,
outside
exactly.
W.H. Smith's window like doing for change.
Exactly. The MCU has got so many stars, and the direction that it's going now, there are so many people that bring it into it. I mean, I saw a list the other day. If you incorporate Disney Plus, all the characters that are going to be in that and the movies, the characters that are going to be on screen by 2022, the list is massive. You've got Moon Knight, you've got the Eternals, you've got loads of other people.
But the problem,
they don't need him.
The problem what we've got now is Far From Home finished with a whole new, basically a rebrand of Spider-Man. He's a man now. He is Tony Stark embodied. He's got the science, he's got the the wit, the humour, he's got the connections. He is the leader of the Avengers, as we know. He's involved with Nick Fury.
I didn't think he come across as leader of Avengers.
No,
and Spider-Man as a character would never be a leader.
No, but it's hitting it going that way because he's got connections to Nick Fury. He's Nick Fury's first point of call. Happy Hogan has got every faith in him, and it finishes, and he is like the new Tony Stark. He's even got Tony Stark's glasses to set that groundwork, and he's the only outstanding character now.
It's gone, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's another blip.
What I will say on this is, Kevin Feige, or Feige, however you pronounce it, he's a genius, right? And if he's happy to let Spider-Man leave the MCU, then it's all according to plan. If he was crucial to it, they would keep him. And they are not going to miss him to the extent of what they would have missed Captain America after Winter Soldier came out. That was his second film.
There's two prime characters who are fit for purpose for taking on leaders of Avengers. Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and I think Black Panther would fit it better.
Yeah.
He's got the commanding nature, he's got the technological backup. You could have him take off, start his own Avengers easily. To me, Spider-Man, it's disappointing, but they're not bothered. Like you said, there's so many new characters they can go. If you want to do that gritty, down to earth, they've got Moon Knight they can release, they can go back and redo Daredevil.
I saw a really good tweet about this, and I think it sums it up perfectly. For Sony to lose Spider-Man is like terminal for them. Marvel to lose Spider-Man is like a bruise. They'll be over it within a film.
Don't forget, this is a key factor. Far From Home isn't just the highest grossing Spider-Man movie. It is Sony's highest grossing movie of all time. Has that given them delusions of grandeur, thinking, we don't need Marvel? Look at how big Spider-Man is.
It's not giving delusions of grandeur.
Don't forget, right, the Spider-Man game was humongous, and it still is. People lap that up. It sold millions. The movie Into the Spider-Verse won an Oscar, Best Animated Movie. Spider-Man is hot property, so no wonder they think we don't need Marvel.
Well, it's not that. It's about how much money they're making.
Exactly.
And it's all about the fact because they wanted to raise it from 5% up to 50%.
That's what Marvel did,
If you're making 200 million, and then they say, well, we want a deal where you can make 100 million, you're just going to go, what?
Yeah, the thing is,
because to them it's massive.
What I'd say to that is, it's their highest grossing film ever, but I would, and I don't know this, but I'm going to look into it, I would love to see how much that movie has made compared to how much the average MCU film makes, and I'm talking the good MCU films.
Black Panther.
Because I'm guessing it's more than the Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be. So
what are we thinking? So Spider-Man goes back to Sony. Tom Holland is in a Venom movie with Tom Hardy. Later down the line they figure it out and he comes back to Marvel. Once he's gone, is he gone? Can it be reclaimed? Will that compromise the writing? Will that work?
What do you mean?
So he goes, it's a different tone, different setting. He's in a Venom movie. Morbius maybe can combine with that. Marvel carry on, the ball carries on rolling. 5 minutes, like End of Jump Street. When end credits, remember, Seth Rogen comes in instead of Jonah Hill and he says, oh, it's nice to see you back after the contract dispute. What contract dispute? When he reappears later, is that just going to undermine...
No, because I think what you can
won't
do is
reappear
you've got
in
to look
MCU.
at it. You've got to look at it now as... Because I see these Marvel movies as Marvel comics. and you can do the storylines without having to put Iron Man in to a Spider-Man movie, or Black Panther into a Doctor Strange movie, or Hulk into a Thor movie. So what you do is you keep Spider-Man with his universe, which is basically Morbius. It's got that many villains, you could bloody do 100 films, and just do that. And then carry on doing the other movies where you just focus on those characters. So the Eternals are just about the Eternals. Moon Knight is just about Moon Knight. Black Panther 2 is about Black Panther. You don't have to have Black Panther 2 and then have bloody Captain Marvel make an appearance.
Is the point that you're making with that Sony, if they've got Spider-Man, they don't need all the others?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is none of them need each other. It's only because they did that Avengers movie where they needed each other. That's gone now. Forget about that. That's finished. Now let's focus on characters. Let's focus on the characters that you've got and the characters in their own right.
I agree. Can we really be sad that Tom Holland is leaving the MCU when in a few years we're going to get Blade?
Yeah, but he's not leaving MCU. He's basically... It's Spider-Man's not going to appear with Happy Hogan or bloody Pepper Potts.
No.
So you're still going to get Tom Holland in a Spider-Man movie. It's just going to be done by
but it's not going to be in the MCU.
Yeah. And I tell you what, after what I've seen, I'm not disappointed.
No, I'm not. But he is leaving the MCU, and the things that have happened in Infinity War and in Endgame that were so heavily featured in Far From Home and other stuff, all this time they've invested into it, they ain't going to be able to mention a fraction of it in his next film. So it's all a bit farcical,
Don't forget,
really.
Venom.
But that's how clever the writers are going to be.
Venom.
Well,
Sony aren't clever writers. Venom was terrible. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, terrible.
But I'm saying, give him a shot. I were one of the main people who were screaming about get Spider-Man from Sony, get him into MCU. But now, to tell you the truth, I'm not that bothered.
No,
I've seen Far From Home, and I'm not impressed. I weren't impressed with Homecoming. Didn't think that were right. Let's just see what Sony do. I'd like to see a Spider-Man Venom movie.
The one thing
I'd like
say
to see
is
them battle each other.
Sony won't be afraid to push the boundaries and give that Venom film and Spider-Man film, if it happens, a higher age rating. The MCU wouldn't. That could be good.
Plus, having Spider-Man makes more sense of when they can introduce
we talked about
characters
that last
like
week,
Morbius.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely
Black
going to happen.
Cat. I mean, I know not major characters, but they are all
I'm
part
sure
of that Spider-Man
they must have
universe.
nearly finished filming Morbius because Jared Leto's playing him, and I remember seeing photos from the set ages ago.
Well, I, for one, I'm gutted about it, mate. I'm really gutted. I think it was a good run. I think it's a shame to see him go.
The thing is, these stars have played these roles before. They've come and gone. Michael Keaton played Batman.
Yeah.
It took a while to get it back on track.
Well, this is the third iteration.
Hugh Jackman played Wolverine.
Of Spider-Man. We've had Andrew Garfield.
Tobey
That didn't
Maguire.
take off. We've had Tobey Maguire. That fell on its arse.
The first and second one were good.
Which is your favourite Spider-Man? Which is the definitive Spider-Man movie? Even if you don't like them all, which is the
Sam
best?
Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Brilliant.
I think the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man.
What?
I think I think that were better than
Which one?
First one.
Not a fan. I've tried. It's just some.
Not
If you go back and watch Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, with Alfred Molina, it is a good film. That whole fight on Sardat building, it is a good film. And yeah, let's not talk about Spider-Man.
Here's a point. So Marvel don't own the rights for Spider-Man in a movie. Sony do, but they do. They can put him in a TV show.
Who can? Marvel.
Yeah.
I thought Sony had all rights for TV shows.
No, movies. But Marvel have him in all kids' TV shows. They've got the rights for him on the TV screen.
Oh yeah, because it's Disney,
not
XD,
the movies.
Innit?
So you never know. Disney Plus, all these TV shows have been announced. Miss Marvel, She-Hulk.
They'll just get rid of him. It'll be a convoluted mess if they've got things appearing in TV shows.
You don't know what Marvel are like when they get face on. Like, when they got face on about X-Men and Fantastic Four, they disappeared. They didn't do any comics. They just shut it down.
Suppose
That's what they get like.
No point
and
wasting
I
your
reckon
breath.
Spider-Man will just... Marvel will do nothing with Spider-Man. Not for a couple of years at least.
Well, I'm a little concerned. The MCU could be a little bit. At one point, it was easy to keep track of everything. Now we've got movies we're all looking forward to, but there's TV shows here, there, and everywhere. I mean, there's Eternals coming out. There's, Kit Harington's been confirmed in MCU now.
Black
isn't
Knight.
he? Yeah, he's in the Eternals, I think, isn't he?
Dane Whitman.
Yeah.
I will say that obviously Netflix brought out their own TV series of Punisher, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones. I watched Daredevil, thought that they were good. Got bored of Punisher, never watched Jessica Jones. Now, obviously, I've got high expectations for the TV series of the MCU in Disney Plus, like Hawkeye and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But one thing I am concerned about is if you don't keep on track with them and you don't watch them, is it all just going to be a mess? Are you just not going to know where it's all at?
One problem I have, and I'm not sure I can see the TV shows working because of this. Say if I want a Guardians fix, put Guardians 1 on. If I fancy a bit of Winter Soldier, I'll watch that. So for you to have an experience, you want to watch one of these now, you've got to watch an hour and a half long episodes. How is that going to... Do you know what I mean? You want to just watch a movie because you like this character. No, it's going to be spread across. Is that going to work?
I look at it as if to say, are you just diluting it too much?
Exactly.
Are you using characters that are strong enough? To me, it seems to me to say these characters aren't strong enough to do a movie, but they might be strong enough to do a TV show. And I think to myself, well, if they're not strong enough to do a movie, to me they're not strong enough to do a TV show.
I mean, I enjoyed the Netflix ones. I've pretty much watched them all. I loved Punisher, even though it had its issues. For me, Jessica Jones Season 1 was incredible. Everybody should watch that. David Tennant was unbelievable. Daredevil were just brilliant. So Marvel, they nailed it with the TV shows, and they've gone. They're redoing it, but...
You gave up on them.
I did.
We all gave up on them.
Luke Cage, I enjoyed Luke Cage.
We all gave up on every single one of them. So
Yeah.
to me, they don't keep your interest enough. They're not like we don't have Jessica Jones night. Like we had Game of Thrones night.
Put it this way: Jessica Jones Season 1, I just said it was incredible. Season 2 killed it for me. After Season 2, I stopped watching all Netflix shows. It was awful. It was worse than any Marvel movie.
I think these TV series I think they'll be surprisingly really, really good. And I've heard, obviously, in the WandaVision series, that's going to lead into the Doctor Strange movie. Is it Madness of the Multiverse? So it'd be interesting to see where it goes.
So that's a wrap on Marvel for this week. Good, Spider-Man's gone, but c'est la vie. See what they've got cooked up. Has either of you watched anything this week that you'd like to lay on us?
I went to see The Good Boys on Friday. Utter shit. It's just so shit. It's one of the...
It's like...
I've been told
I've
it's
not
good.
seen it, but it's like Superman for the new generation.
Yeah, but it's like...
Superman.
It's just children, it's playground stuff, and there's parts of it that's funny, but it's so put on. You're watching it, and you just know these kids have just been told exactly what to say and how to say it by the parents who are on set or whatever. It all just seems so false.
I mean, I've not seen it, but one thing that I could imagine is you watch Superbad. Seth Rogen and Bill Hader's probably going to have a bit of improv between them because that's their dynamic. That's how they are. Kids are reading from a script, so it's different. I have actually been told by a couple of people that that's decent. So
I thought it were garbage, and I don't know.
You watched it, Tony?
The kid actors in it are crap.
I haven't seen out, to tell you the truth, because there's nothing... I mean, there's no ton at cinema really pulling me in.
Tell you what I watched. John Wick 3. You will not find a bigger fan of John Wick than me. I
do love John Wick.
I buzz off them films. 1, 2 and 3. 1's brilliant. 2, slow pacing, but it's fantastic. And 3 is just unbelievable. If you haven't seen John Wick, then we can never be friends.
I also watched Blade Runner 2049 again as well on the projector and in surround sound. Love that film.
I've got quite a few films lined up to watch.
Have you seen Blade Runner 2?
2049, yeah. I didn't.
I'm
massive fan of Blade Runner. I mean, I watched it years ago when it first come out. So it's really
Are you a fan of the extended cut?
And I'm not a fan of the
extended cut.
Well, I actually watched the original cut. Just to explain,
Isn't there like 7 different
there's a bit. There's one cut where he has this vision of unicorns,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be the original one, and then the other cut is he doesn't have this vision of unicorns, and he does a voiceover at end trying to explain.
But the unicorn.
Now that was the one I first watched, so I
Yeah.
didn't realise that weren't the original one. I thought that was just the one until I eventually years later watched this one with unicorns, and I prefer the one with voiceover.
the unicorn, I think, is quite critical to the plot. I think because it doesn't it's
something to do with symbolise between who's a replicant
real
and
and
who's
not.
not.
Yeah.
Anyway, I weren't that bothered about the second one. He absolutely loves it to death.
No, I did.
Loves it to
I
death.
did.
And I couldn't work out why he loves it to death.
I
Because
just thought-
he never watched the original like I did, but he loves that
No,
second one.
I've watched
to
the
death.
first one a few times, and I really, when I went to see it when it came out in IMAX, the second one, I watched Blade Runner the night before. But you know when you properly watch something, no phone, sound on, no disruptions, and I thought it was so cool, such a cool film. I mean, that scene at the end with Rutger Hauer is classic. Just
There's so many things I could talk about, and I had so many topics that I needed to get onto. But there's that much happened this week. The announcement of Bond, The Matrix, and Spider-Man has sort of washed out any room for any discussions. But what I will do, a couple of honourable mentions this week. The trailer for Rambo dropped. Thoughts?
not bothered.
I am bothered because I love First Blood. But once again, I will just say, if you watch First Blood and have never seen any other Rambo films, it's totally different to what you expect.
Maybe that is a plot for a movie you should write. You remember Ricky Gervais's The Invention of Lying?
Yeah.
You should write in a world where
Well, like that film where there's nobody's ever heard of any
Beatles
songs.
Oh, I want to see that.
nobody's ever made a sequel.
And nobody's ever made a sequel, yeah.
That's a
But
good
the
idea.
thing is about these sequels that you talk about, that new Rambo is just taking the pick. Like, what is it? Rambo 6, is it? Or 5 or something? We can't even keep count. But
It's 5.
going back to what I was saying a minute ago, when I finished watching Blade Runner, and I went the next day to see the
6,
new one.
Isn't it? It's a Rambo 6.
We'll
I'm sure it's 5.
find out later. The Blade Runner sequel tied into the first one so perfectly, and it was so captured in this. I'm sure it was. Is it Roger Deakins who was behind the whole look and feel of it, and he did the second one, and it just fit in so well. And when Harrison Ford appears on the second one, it's such a tense moment. So the sequels are good if they tie in directly.
So we've got this week is the trailer for Joker. The Joker trailer arrives. We'll be talk about it next week, but it's on the way.
Don't understand it.
No, that film will be awesome.
Don't understand it.
I'm
Seriously.
enjoying this.
I don't understand. I mean, we've talked about Marvel, but seriously, I don't understand.
They're
what
trying
DC
to
are
catch
doing.
you from behind.
DC are off their heads.
They're trying to catch you, they're trying to blindside you with this film. That film is going to tie you
and they
with new
blindsided me when they
Batman.
put Shazam on screen.
Yeah, no, but this, going back to an original Joker origin story, something brand new, set years ago, is it a coincidence that they've also cast, what's his face?
Pattinson.
Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson as a young Batman? I don't think it is. I think that they're going to tie in with each other and people won't see it
I'm
coming.
enjoying this disagreement.
Can I just say,
maybe I
if that
should
is
post-
true, what you've just said, then I will be impressed.
Yeah.
But I tell you this now,
You've heard it here
that is
first.
not the case, because you're thinking logically as a film viewer. These people will just put bloody out
Do you know,
together,
and this-
especially DC.
Spoiler alert. You know what kind of avenue I think they're going down?
Electric.
Electric.
No,
Avenue.
Split. Do you remember?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
you spoiled that
Can
for
I
me.
just say?
It weren't me.
Where you told me about the ending.
Can I just say, Joker has been confirmed to be rated R because of disturbing personalities or something.
Scenes.
Yeah, psychiatric type stuff. So maybe, and I'm a fan of Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's great.
I just don't see the point in this film. I seriously do
Yeah,
not.
but where else can they go with Joker? I
Well,
suppose they
don't
could
make a
just not
Joker
do
film.
it.
You've done it so many
I'm
times.
looking.
Todd Phillips is a good director. Hangover, Excellent. What about the other film that you
I
did a
enjoyed
few years ago?
Judy. That's
good. What's that film? Is it War Dogs?
Oh yeah, that was good. That, yeah,
Is it
I
War
like that.
Dogs? I
War
think
Dogs.
it's got
It is
yeah.
War
Jonah
Dogs.
Hill.
I enjoy it. That's a good film.
I'm
It's
looking
good
forward.
director.
We'll have to speak on the trailer next week because obviously we can address trailers that have been released each week. But so that's it for my hosting this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the clashes between you both. Maybe I should host more often. A little bit feisty.
Well, I enjoyed the conversation.
We'll do it. Turn it into a
If
boxing match.
we've got any questions or anything for next week, fire away. We'll try and give you a feature. Or if there's anything you want us to
Talk about Disney Plus as well. We didn't have time for that, but
Well, we covered
Anyway.
a bit of Disney Plus. Maybe we should spend a bit more time on DC, or if there's anything else.
I'm looking forward to Matrix 4. But anyway, adios everybody. Forget work, watch films.
Goodbye.
Bye.